Have you ever met someone who seemed incredibly tough, confident, unshakable, yet beneath the surface, they were deeply insecure? Or perhaps someone who appeared gentle, agreeable, and caring, yet carried a surprising amount of hidden strength and ambition? Most people spend their lives trying to fit into a role society gives them, a role their parents expect, a role they believe they must perform. But Robert Greene argues that this creates a dangerous problem. Because the more rigidly you identify with one side of yourself, the more power you lose. This is Law 12, the Law of Gender Rigidity. And understanding it may completely change the way you see yourself, your relationships, and the people around you. When most people hear the word masculine, they think of strength, aggression, logic, competitiveness, independence. And when they hear feminine, they think of empathy, intuition, patience, sensitivity, cooperation. But Greene argues something important. Every human being contains both energies. No one is purely masculine. No one is purely feminine. We all carry both. The problem begins when we reject half of ourselves. When men are taught that emotions are weakness, when women are taught that ambition is unattractive, when people become trapped inside rigid identities, because whatever you suppress does not disappear, it simply goes underground, and eventually it begins controlling you. From childhood, people receive messages about who they should be. Boys hear, "Don't cry," "Be tough," "Man up," "Be strong." Girls hear, "Be nice," "Be agreeable," "Don't be too aggressive," "Don't make people uncomfortable." Over time, these messages become internal rules. The child learns what is acceptable and what is forbidden. The result? People begin performing, not consciously, but automatically. A man may hide fear, even when he desperately needs help. A woman may hide ambition, even when she is capable of leading. Both lose access to valuable parts of themselves, because they are acting according to a script, instead of their full human nature. Greene warns against becoming trapped in exaggerated masculinity. At first, it appears powerful. The person looks confident, dominant, fearless, independent. But beneath the surface, problems begin to emerge. They struggle to admit mistakes. They resist feedback. They suppress emotions. They avoid vulnerability. They turn every disagreement into a battle. And eventually, their strength becomes a prison, because true strength is not the absence of emotion. It is the ability to handle emotion wisely. Think of leaders who refuse advice, executives who believe they know everything, athletes who cannot admit weakness. Many of them fall not because they are weak, but because their image of strength becomes too rigid. They become disconnected from reality, and reality always wins. But Greene also warns against the opposite extreme: excessive agreeableness, excessive accommodation, excessive emotional dependence. People trapped in this pattern often avoid conflict. They seek approval. They struggle to establish boundaries. They prioritize everyone else's needs. And slowly, they lose themselves. They become resentful, exhausted, invisible. Because kindness without strength becomes self-sacrifice. Empathy without boundaries becomes weakness. Compassion without self-respect becomes exploitation. The healthiest individuals are not those who surrender their softer qualities, nor those who reject them. The healthiest individuals learn balance. This is where the law becomes powerful. Greene argues that highly effective people develop both sides of their nature. They become psychologically complete. A strong leader understands emotions. A caring person develops assertiveness. A competitive person learns empathy. A sensitive person learns courage. Instead of choosing one side, they integrate both. And this creates extraordinary advantages, because life constantly demands flexibility, Sometimes strength is required, sometimes patience, sometimes aggression, sometimes compassion. The person who can access both has more tools available, and more tools mean more power. Greene points to one of history's greatest examples, Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo possessed remarkable qualities that crossed conventional boundaries. He combined scientific logic with artistic imagination, observation with intuition, precision with creativity, strength of intellect with sensitivity to beauty. This combination allowed him to see the world differently. While others thought in rigid categories, Leonardo moved freely between them, and that flexibility became one of his greatest strengths. His genius was not merely intelligence, it was completeness. This law becomes especially important in relationships. Many conflicts emerge because people expect partners to fulfill rigid roles. The man must always be strong. The woman must always be nurturing. The man must never struggle. The woman must never lead. But reality is far more complicated. Human beings are dynamic. Sometimes your partner needs support. Sometimes they need encouragement. Sometimes they need empathy. Sometimes they need direct honesty. Healthy relationships succeed because both people remain flexible. They allow each other to be human, not stereotypes, not performances, human. And when people feel accepted, they become more authentic. When they become more authentic, trust grows. And trust is the foundation of every strong relationship. Greene suggests that everyone has a hidden side, parts of themselves they learn to suppress. For some men, it may be tenderness, creativity, emotional openness. For some women, it may be ambition, assertiveness, competitiveness. The challenge is not to eliminate these traits. The challenge is to acknowledge them. Because whatever you reject often gains power over you. The person who suppresses emotion may suddenly explode. The person who suppresses ambition may become secretly resentful. The person who suppresses vulnerability may struggle with intimacy. Awareness changes everything. The moment you recognize these hidden qualities, you gain choice, and choice creates freedom. Imagine two managers. The first manager believes leadership means dominance. He interrupts people, never admits mistakes, rarely listens, demands obedience. Initially, he appears powerful, but over time, employees stop sharing information, innovation declines, trust disappears. Now imagine another manager, confident but approachable, decisive but empathetic, strong yet willing to listen. Employees feel safe bringing ideas. Problems are identified earlier. Relationships improve. Performance improves. Which leader has more influence? The second. Not because they are softer, but because they are more complete. So how can you apply this law in your own life? Start by asking difficult questions. What traits do I admire? What traits make me uncomfortable? What qualities have I rejected in myself? What emotions do I avoid? What strengths am I afraid to develop? The answers often reveal your hidden side. And once you identify it, begin exploring it. Not dramatically, gradually. If you struggle with empathy, practice listening. If you struggle with assertiveness, practice speaking up. If you avoid vulnerability, start sharing honestly. If you avoid leadership, take responsibility more often. Growth occurs where resistance exists. The qualities you avoid may contain the development you need most. The greatest mistake is believing that strength comes from becoming more rigid. It does not. Strength comes from becoming more complete. The strongest people can be compassionate. The most empathetic people can be assertive. The wisest people understand both sides of human nature. Because life is not black and white. Human beings are not simple categories. We are complex, contradictory, dynamic, and the more fully you embrace that complexity, the more effective you become. This is Law 12, the law of gender rigidity. The people who thrive in life are not those trapped inside a role. They are the ones who learn to access every useful part of themselves. Because true power is not found in choosing one side. True power comes from integration, from balance, from psychological completeness. If you found this lesson valuable, take a moment to like the video. It helps this channel reach more people interested in understanding human nature. And subscribe, because in the next lesson, we'll explore another powerful principle from the laws of human nature and discover how understanding people can transform every area of your life. Until next time, observe carefully, think deeply, and keep mastering human nature.